What's going on, everybody? And today I'm going to be giving you guys my official LEGO Dimensions review. Now, I've been very slow getting this game out, or getting this game review out, I should say. I completed this game about back in January, and all the times afterwards has been spent filing clips from the gameplay I managed to capture together and really trying to overall get my thoughts organized before I really said anything about this game, because this is a very weird game to me. And before I really get in depth, I should just say that every LEGO game I've played, I've enjoyed. Now, I haven't played all the LEGO games. There's been ones I haven't played, like Pirates of the Caribbean and Lord of the Rings, but I've played most of them. My favorite being the original LEGO Batman game that I played back in, I think, 2008. But no, what I'm trying to say is, going into it, I knew I was going to enjoy this game, because obviously LEGO games haven't really changed that much, but this one obviously is different for many of reasons. The first of which being the introduction of the toy pad into a LEGO game. Now, these toy pads have been used in dozens of games beforehand. Skylanders and Disney Xfinity are the two that immediately come to mind. So when they were introduced to LEGO, I was a little skeptical because, I've never really used a toy pad before, and I wasn't necessarily sure what to think of it. I wasn't necessarily sure how it was going to affect the games that the game's nostalgia to me. I don't know how it's going to affect the game overall, because obviously LEGO games have to have something going on for it that's more than just nostalgia, because they're often met with a lot of positive reviews, which, don't get me wrong, this one was met with a lot of positive reviews too, but this toy pad brought an entirely different element to LEGO games. So first things first, what irritated me is the fact that I had to build this thing, and I guess I should have expected that because it's a LEGO game, so of course I'm going to have to build it out of Legos, but that's kind of like the first step. I mean, the first step in the entire process of getting ready to play this game. Imagine buying this game and you're psyched and you can't wait to play it, and you gotta build the toy pad. I mean, technically, I guess you don't have to build the toy pad per se. I think it is possible to play with the toy pad without building it, but you lose an element of the game if you don't actually build it, because the game has you interact with it and all that kind of stuff. But you had to build the entire outerior, like the portal that's in the game that you travel through, that brings you to all the different worlds. I mean, you have to actually build it, and it's really irritating. It seems like it's totally unnecessary, because every other LEGO game has just been pick up and play and get to look at all of the cool things that they've added into this game. But no, you have to spend about an hour putting this thing together with all the small little pieces. So that's the first step in playing this game. And the second step, of course, is buying all the characters and building them and their vehicles, and then getting them loaded onto the game when you put them on the toy pad. And it's just like, it's so much work for a game that's part of a franchise that, for most of its being, has just been pick up, play, and enjoy. So, I mean, to me personally, this kind of really turned me off for this game for a while, but once I actually got all this stuff done and I started playing, and I actually did buy a lot of the characters. I think I got one from each world now, but once I got into the game, it was fun. It felt like the LEGO games of old, where the worlds were amazingly put together and everything looked cool, and there were moments that were fun to play as, moments that were funny, moments that were just action-packed, and there was everything about it that it was what it was supposed to be. And then they started adding in the toy pad as part of the gaming experience, to the point where you have to move the characters around and stuff like that, and it's just like, I don't know, I'm not the kind of person that appreciates that. Like I said, I've never, I've never even messed around with games that utilize this toy pad deal before until this game. So, it still kind of bugs me. And some of the stuff with the toy pad can be a little buggy sometimes because you have to carefully place the toy pad and you have to maneuver the characters exactly where the game tells you, and whether or not you do this right could completely and utterly affect your game overall. And it's almost just an entirely unnecessary deal. Like, I mean, this is pretty much going to be the basis of my entire review, that a lot of my problems deal with the toy pad and how it's elemented, let alone not really how the game plays. And that I think is a problem, because I don't know if I want to say that this game is bad, because of the extra that comes with it. I mean, do I want to say this is a bad game just because I personally don't like the idea of incorporating a toy pad? I don't know, because that seems a bit cheeky to me, and I know that there's a lot of people that do like the toy pad elements. That's why games like Skylander and Disney Xfinity are so popular. But to me, I don't like it, and I don't feel like it fit well enough into this LEGO game. But like I said, my problem isn't with how the game plays, it's just with the toy pad. I mean, the game overall, from storytelling to the controls, are fine. I mean, it's a very interesting crossover between all of the most of the LEGO franchises that we've been asking for a long time now. So, it is very good in a gaming sense, but it's not for a person like me who's not used to using a toy pad. And having to build this stuff and having to sit around and mess around with all that, just so unnecessary. It's just so freaking unnecessary. If I had to do it, I mean, it would just be at most buy the characters and don't worry about vehicles and stuff like that. I mean, people got this game to play it, not to spend hours on it building stuff so they could play it. And I think that's a problem. I mean, I really do dislike how the toy pad incorporates and how you have to build everything, and it's just too different. With all the similarities it has gameplay-wise to the old LEGO games, the overall game in itself is just far too different for me to enjoy. It's far too different compared to the LEGO games that I'm used to. And I mean, I'm back to where I started. I mean, I don't know whether or not to say this is a bad game or not, because it all has to do with the toy pad and the figurines. I mean, I know that there are a lot of people out there that like the elements of the toy pad the figurines bring. I know that critics raved about this game. I know that I'm probably in the wrong for saying all these bad things about the toy pad, because, I mean, I just haven't had enough experience with it. Maybe when I kind of get myself together and start playing more with this game, I'll understand. But right now, this toy pad is just irritating. Like, it's just, I don't know what more to even say. Like, the problem is, I just don't think I'm in the right position to even give this game a real review, because my problem lies with something that's extracurricular in relation to how the game runs overall. And I mean, right here, you can look at the footage right here. It's another puzzle where we have to utilize the toy pad, and it took forever to do this. And I was doing this with 2 players, too. It took forever to figure out a lot of these puzzles, because some of them are just really unclear with some of the stuff they want you to do. And the toy pad, of course, like I said, can be buggy and has to replace certain areas, and you're sitting there trying to fumble around with the paddle, trying to fight off people while also trying to mess around with the toy pad to make sure everything's working correctly. The toy pad just it gets in the way. It's not for me. But I know that I'm in a minority of people that don't like it. So if I had to hazard a guess and say what would I rate this game, probably 4 out of 5, to be honest. Because, like I said, my problem doesn't lie with the game overall. The game overall is fine. It's just this toy pad. So I think a 4 out of 5 is a fair rating. I mean, I can't let my feelings about a toy pad ruin a game overall. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this review slash rant about a toy pad. Like I said, I know I'm not in a position to review this game. I just don't like the damn toy pad.